cage to demand money from the cashier with gamblers sitting just feet away. The thief takes the unknown amount of cash and then runs right back out the front door. To Texas State University student paper slammed over an opinion column in which the writer says that he, quote, hates white people. The article in the University Star titled "Your DNA is an Abomination" reads in part, "I see people as an aberration. Remember this, I hate you because you shouldn't exist." This is what in the world? Well, the paper's editor-in-chief wrote an apology after backlash from students. The university's president also apologizing, calling it a racist article. How was that printed to begin with? That's a lot of questions there. And then there's this. A taxpayer-funded college in California wants to convert a portion of its student computer lab into a safe space for LGBTQ and undocumented students. But those who don't identify as either are fighting back to keep their money from funding any part of the $500,000 project. Here to weigh in is Santa Monica College student and campus reform correspondent Ben Kolodny. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Ben.
Thank you so much for having me.
So $500,000 for this safe space. You started this petition not wanting your money to go to these groups that you don't identify with.
Well, that's not 100% true. I myself am bisexual. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous that we're spending $500,000 of people's money for something that they themselves don't want and that our administration doesn't believe we need. Our administration did a survey, and they surveyed 50 LGBTQ, DACA, undocumented students, and found that not a single one of them felt unsafe on campus. So the fact that we're still pushing this and that our administration is still moving forward with this should tell you it's an agenda and not something we need.
Well, let's take a look at the actual master plan as it was stated. It was to develop a plan to establish a gender equity center to serve all students interested in or having a need for services regarding issues of gender, sexuality, identity, and inclusion. So is there a need for this?
Not according to the students who were surveyed. As I said, 50 students were surveyed, and not a single one of them felt unsafe on this campus. And that's what's so great about Leadership Institute's campus reform. They're able to bring us so much information across the country, and this is just another one of the textbook cases of campuses pushing an agenda that the students don't want. We see this all over the country. Administrators are trying to push what they believe is necessary and coddling the children by not, really accepting our words and our voices when we see, no, we don't need this.
So you went to this meeting that I mentioned at the top, this petition that you had, and you were unlawfully removed from the meeting. What happened?
So the California state law governing public meetings states that I must be allowed to make a public comment after new information has been made. Unfortunately, though, there was no public comment section at that point, and myself and another student were both ejected for our objection to this awful waste of our money and of a valuable student resource, our computer lab, which is going to be taken up to make space for this place.
Yeah, and let's take a look at that, the actual physical proposal. They want to renovate the existing computer lab space, convert the area into this gender social justice center. They say that it'll provide counseling, lounging, and some collaborative spaces. But the bottom line, you say, is the administration doesn't want to pay for it, so they want the students to pay for it instead.
That is 100% the case. The administration is the one that introduced this proposal. The administration is the one that backed this proposal, created this proposal, and now they are putting it in the only place that can make us pay for it as students, in a certain part of our campus that is paid for by the students only. And that is truly just unacceptable and should not be allowed. The Santa Monica College students are outraged, and over 400 of us have signed a petition saying that this is not okay.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they will let your voices be heard as well, and so the whole issue can be debated as it should be. Ben Kolodny, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Have a good day and good luck.